Settling is very different from compromise. A lot of us actually have it wrong every time. We feel like settling is the same thing as compromise. They are two different things. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing few differences between settling and compromise. Hi, in case you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Lucy. In case you've been here before, you already know, you are welcome back, Mariji. On here, I do videos on self-improvement, self-development, and everything nice, and a bit of vlogs. You should subscribe and join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So, guys, before we get into it, I'd like to mention that settling and compromise can happen in any relationship, like friendship, romantic relationship, even at work relationship. So it's not always relationship alone, romantic relationship when you're in a relationship with a man or with a woman. That is when compromise and settling happens. No, it happens in everything of our lives. The first one is settling is you shrinking yourself, right? This is simple. You are someone who likes certain things, and because you met that person, you all of a sudden start to shrink yourself so the other person can be comfortable, so the other person can shine. Now, it happens, like I said, in everything, especially in relationship. A lot of us settle a lot. Now, people come and say, oh, I don't if he doesn't have a car, then I'm not dating him. Those are things that I low-key feel like it really doesn't make any sense. But if that's what you believe in, that's okay, right? So settling really just means some people now feel like, sorry, my line of thought went off there, but some people now feel like because they are dating someone who doesn't have a car, that means that they're settling, which is understandable. That could be their values, and that's okay. But to me, that is not what settling means, right? So settling really is you just shrinking yourself. You're yourself, you're a happy self, but because maybe your partner or your workmate or your boss or your family member doesn't like it when you are yourself, when you chase things. Perfect example, let's say you're with a partner who doesn't chase things for himself, right? But you are someone who's very ambitious. You're very, very ambitious. You like to chase things. You are a very career woman. You like to do things. You like to set a goal and you get it, and all of a sudden your partner start to feel some certain type of way, like, okay, she's getting it, what am I doing now? It is very easy for your partner, especially in romantic relationship, to be jealous of you. Now, that's one thing that I think that a lot of us need to start to know, that there are actually men that are jealous of, women, and the way it might not even be career. Some are very insecure about certain women. They just feel like, no, this one is more than me, right? And they know low key. So you now trying to tone it down, you're trying to shrink yourself. Oh, let me not chase that bag, let me not chase that career, so my husband, or maybe my boyfriend, or my fiance, or my boss can feel good about himself. That is you settling. Is you settling for something that you know that this is definitely not you. On the other side, compromise is you coming together to meet halfway. Very, very easy. Now, for the example I use, you're a woman that likes to chase your dreams, your career, and for some reasons your partner doesn't know how to chase his dream. Or maybe he's chasing his dream and he's not getting it. Now, you guys coming together halfway is you teaching him, you guiding him on how to get his own goals too, so that at least there is a balance. You understand? You're coming in compromise. You are compromising to meet halfway together, right? You're not giving up anything for anybody. Shrinking, settling is you giving up something so that someone else can feel good. No, giving what is it? Compromise is you adjusting. Okay, I want this person to grow with me. Do you understand? And you take him along, you show him certain things, or this is what you do, this is what you, for the knowledge that you have. And if you don't have knowledge on that thing that the person is doing, you can always reach out to people. Okay, there's someone that I know that can teach you certain things so that you're up to in your career. I don't know if this make any sense, but simply is settling is you shrinking, giving up yourself. Compromise is you meeting halfway, you adjusting for you guys to achieve like a goal. The next one is settling feels very heavy. It feels very draining. If you have been in any type of relationship where you're settling, you will know that you are draining. Like, there are certain things that are happening, but you can't talk about it. Why? Because you definitely settled for someone that is draining you. You definitely saw those signs, but you settled for someone that is draining you. You're drained, it feels very heavy, you are feeling very disconnected from yourself. Now, that is where you need to say, did I really do it right, or did I settle right? So, as I said before, it doesn't always have to be romantic relationship. That work could be draining you because you settled for it, because you felt like this is the best I can get, right? Because you settled for it, it's draining you, it's making you very disconnected to yourself. You are not actually yourself. You don't know how to do things and be happy yourself. You're always drained. And as someone who has actually experienced being with someone and being drained, I'll tell you for a fact that this is actually a true thing. Draining of energy is something that is real. Now, in sense of physical things, we can't see it, right? But if you are being with someone and you feel drained after being with them, or you feel drained after having a conversation with them, they are draining you and you have settled. So, what you need to do is to reconnect with yourself so that you don't lose yourself because you are trying to be with someone, or because you're trying to have a relationship with someone, and then you settle. That is you settling. If you just feel like in that job you are drained, in that relationship you are drained, in that family, yeah, you feel very heavy, you are drained, trust me, you are settling. And when I mean settling, I mean you are settling on the highest order. You are not supposed to be with people for them to drain you. You're supposed to be with them for energy to be exchanged. Yeah, energy should be given and energy should be collected. You're not supposed to be with them and you are the one doing everything. You are the one trying to connect with them. You're trying to force things. No, that is you definitely settle. You are trying to force things to, oh, I want to force this thing so that it will happen. At the end of the day, maybe we'll get married, or at the end of the day, maybe they'll give me that promotion. You understand? And that is you just settling. Is you just feeling less of yourself. You just feeling like, okay, this is the highest that I can get. Do you understand? So it's always very, very important to know when you are drained, which really means that you're settling. Why compromise is finding a balance. It really just means being balanced. Now, in as much as we feel like compromise is something that happens a lot in marriage, it takes two for compromise to happen, right? So now let me use a very perfect example. A couple wants to relocate, and maybe the woman has like a very thriving business in Nigeria here, and the husband says, oh, I would like us to relocate and all that. Well, she doesn't like it because she has a thriving business. She's doing so good here. But, it's her husband. Now they come at a compromise, right? Okay, you are going to chase your own dream. When I get there, what do I do? Now, there is a bending. She is bending herself to come in the new environment that she is in, right? Which is, we are relocating. Now, compromise is both of them coming together. Okay, I'm bending. What am I going to be doing when I get there? Because relocating, especially for couples, and if it's the husband that brought the idea, is always very obvious that it benefits the man more. Why? Because it is his idea. But you, as a woman, what do you want? Okay, let's sit down and talk about this. Now, I am relocating, compromise. Okay, you know what? Maybe you should be in Nigeria. Okay, I don't want to leave my family. You know what? Let's go. I'm going to open a business for you. I'm going to open a store for you. That's you compromising. Feeling emotionally safe is what compromise is. And when you're settling, you don't feel emotionally safe when you're settling. And that is something that you really need to open your eyes to look at in every area or every relationship that you have. Romantic relationship, work relationship, family relationship. Are you emotionally safe? Do they put your feelings into consideration, or they are just selfish for themselves? Now, that's what compromise simply means. Now, let's rephrase this particular point, which is settling is you giving your all, which is very heavy. Compromise is you just finding a balance. So, yeah. The next difference is settling always comes from the aspect of lack. You actually just feel like, I can never get that man. I can never be in a relationship. I can never be married. I can never get a job. I can never be that good family member. Then you try to stretch yourself. You try to accept, quote and unquote, I won't use the word rubbish because I don't know if that's a YouTube word, but you tend to accept things that you know that are really not you. They're actually not what you will like. They're not your values. That's certainly what settling means. You settling always come from fear of, I can never get it, right? It always come from lack. I will not get it. So let me just, this one that I have now, let me just keep it, oh, let me just hold it. And I would like to use this opportunity to say to any single lady out there, that's like one thing your mind will always tell you, that, oh, let me just hold this one, even with his bad behavior, let me just hold him because I can never get anyone else. Now let me tell you something, as long as God is God, and as long as you serve him, and as long as you are his daughter, and as long as he loves you, trust me, you're gonna get someone that is better, right? So don't always settle. Settling is just like, well, let me just hold this one. If I stay another year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I may not see somebody, so let me just stay here. So you always come from the fact that you always believe that there's nothing better for you. And as simple as a job, you see a job that they are paying you less, is because you feel like, no, I cannot get anything better. So let me just hold this one. Oh. Let me just hold this one so that, just in case, because I know that after this job, I will not get another one. That's settling. That's simply you just settling. And that is one major difference, or one major definition I feel like a lot of us really know. Settling mostly come from the fact that you are afraid that you can never get the best. You are afraid that you can never get something better. And that one that is in your hand is the best thing you can ever get. And trust me, that's a lie. But compromise comes from the fact, or from, it comes from love. You have a job, you're doing this because you love it. It's not what you would have, it's not your best, right? But it is something that you know that, I love this job, it comes from love. Every correction that comes from that job, every correction that comes from that relationship, you know that it comes with love. Do you understand? It comes with, in case you see me looking down here, I'm actually looking at my notes. It comes with love, right? So you are with someone and you guys are trying to compromise. Compromising comes with love. Like the example I made of a, couple relocating, and the husband is like, oh, you know what, I will open like a store for you. You can continue your business when we travel. That is you coming a compromise for two of you to grow together. That's simply what compromise means. But someone that sees that, okay, yes, you settle, we don't want to grow, it comes from scaredness, right? So when you see a man or a partner or whatever that wants to compromise with you, you will know they always want you to grow together. It comes from love. Like there's this love that, okay, you know what? I think the next step for our relationship now is for us to relocate. And when we relocate, this is what you will be doing, this is what I will be doing. So there's no one side, which we will get in the next point. So it's always very important to know that settling comes from lack, right? And compromise comes from love. If you don't love someone, if you don't love something, you can never want to compromise. It's as simple as that. The next one is, settling is one sided. Now, that simply just means giving up all the things that you believe in, your values, giving up yourself, giving up everything so the other person can feel good. And it is a no-no. You can't have a true love that collects only from you and doesn't feel you back. Now, this is very common in, or not only relationship but also friendship. You cannot be settling for a friend who always takes from you. They always just take from you, take your energy, take your advice, take everything, but they never pour into you, right? So it's always very, very important to not settle, and to know that settling comes when it is one-sided. If you notice that you are always the one planning dates, you're always the one planning this one, you are always the one doing this one, and the man is supposed to be the one doing those ones, definitely settling, right? So you need to understand that settling is one-sided. Sorry, settling is always one-sided. You do everything. Someone that really loves you, someone that really know that you mean a lot to them, will never ever ask you to give up yourself for them. Never. They will never see you drowning and be okay with it. They will never see you stop your career, stop what you're doing, and be okay with it. Do you understand? A true love will always want to see you grow. Which is to the other side. Compromise is mutual. When someone really loves you, they come to express themselves to you. You express yourself to them, and you guys come in agreement to move forward. It is mutual. Someone who loves you will not see you that you are doing everything that you are doing and they're okay with it. No, they will come with compromises, mutual. Oh, I noticed that you haven't posted. Let's use content creator. You haven't posted in about a week. Is something wrong? Are you okay? You're in the same house and you know that your wife or your girlfriend, whatever it is, always likes to do certain things, and you're not bothered about it. That is not, you really don't love that person, but you see that she's not doing it. You have every right to sit down and express what's wrong. I feel like you're not your best self and it's really affecting me. Express yourself. That's what compromise is. It is mutual. Compromise is not one-sided. It is mutual. Two of you, you're going through stuff, you say, you express yourself and you come together to say, okay, this is what's happening, this is what happened, this is what I did, okay, this is what I want you to do. Sitting down and talking. A lot of adults these days don't sit down and talk. A lot of us don't. We don't know how to sit down and express ourselves. Like, okay, you did this to me, I didn't like it. You did that to me, I didn't like. I don't know why people shy away from serious conversations. Now I used to be like that, but now I'm like, we need to say we are adults. You cannot carry cane and beat me. Neither can I carry cane and beat you. But you know what? We're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about how I felt. We're gonna talk about how you felt. We're gonna talk about how to move on. Simple. Settling is one-sided. Compromise is mutual. Lastly, settling is you being silent. If you find yourself in any type of relationship, romantic, work relationship, any type, friendship, and you are quiet, you are settling for real. You're quiet in sense that you don't want to say anything. I used to be one of those where when I used to when I was like in relationship, I'll be like, "Ah, I don't want to say anything so that I won't be angry. Now I'm gonna say, like, I'm going to express myself. If you're okay with that, that's okay. If you're not, like, away, because you are not going to keep me silent. And one thing that keeping silent does is it makes you just pile things in your mind for a long time. It makes you feel like your self-esteem is going low, and it also makes you feel like there's nothing you can do about the issue. And there's actually something you can do about the issue. Speak your mind. Compromise is you always saying something, expressing yourself. When you are in a relationship that is healthy and there's a compromise, you see that there's always an open table for discussion. You hear each other, you hear each other's sides, right? You hear what this person has to say. Okay, this is what I felt. I think a lot of us don't know that most times as human beings, we tend to misinterpret what someone else is saying until they fully explain it to us, right? So if you are in a very healthy relationship, the communication table is always open. You always sit down and tell yourself things, even things that you know that, okay, this thing my partner might not like it, but I have to say it so that she can understand, so that he can understand what I'm trying to say. So it's always very, very important to know that settling is you keeping quiet. It keeps you silent. It keeps you shut, like your mouth shut. You can't say anything. You're afraid to say, "Oh, if I say something, it will go." Isn't that better that it goes? So it's always very important to know. Then compromise is you being open, expressing yourself. Communication, very important. Communication is very important in every type of relationship. Sit down and have that uncomfortable conversation. Sorry. Sit down and have that uncomfortable talks. Sit down and have it and face real life. You're an adult, you're not a child. Yeah. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. Please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not. Share this video to someone that you feel might need it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye y'all.